Hey guys, welcome. I'm going to show you in this tutorial some of the upgrades I did to the hard surface toolbox. I've got a lot to do with bevels on here and a lot to do with symmetry modeling. Now you can see you've got the active modifier visible along with the active selected object, and then a few controls for the bevel up here as well. Now we're going to make this, and I'm going to show you a very good use case for taking your mesh and just modeling one spot, and then using the tools right here in the transform and the toolet function to actually cut out about 90% of the work. So this is going to be really easy. Plus I want to demo out this add-on that I wrote out. It's taken a few weeks to get it kind of like right where I want it, and it may not be completely done yet, but here we go. Shift-Alt-E is going to be the pie menu for this. It's a completely separate add-on. It's meant to complement the hard surface toolbox. It's going to be packaged with it on Blender, and then I'll have it as an individual thing later once it gets approved. Now, as usual, you've got your difference, intersection, and union. Then you have all the mesh primitives available to you, and then each one of those can be changed, like cylinder verts, sphere segments, and sphere rings. So we can literally start out with anything you want. I'm going to go with the cylinder. And let's see if I just, oh, it's not going to be active yet. Yeah, see, the object hasn't come in. So this is your pre-menu. And what do I want? I want 90 or so. I think that's good. Cylinder, difference, hit OK. And it'll place it in the bounding box center of whatever object you have. And then you're going to get those same options again, so you can come down here and kind of modify that and do whatever you want. You can go off infinite if you want. 256 will be the maximum, so it doesn't crash people's computers. It does move nice and slow. It's not a real fast progression. So I'll do 100. I like 100. And now the cutter object itself is selectable. You can see you've got the cutter, and now I've got the cutter selected up here. And so I can move that and then scale it something like that right there. That's good. And now the purpose of doing this is because I'm going to grab the edges. I'm going to take the cutter into edge mode, okay? And it's a very basic thing, but it's fun. So Shift-Alt, right-click, and I'm selecting just the edge loop from the top. And I want to come over here and flip the normals. Now I can see the face orientation, and I can see that kind of wacky geometry it looks like, but it's really not. It's just kind of the normals bleeding. And so if I hit Control B, I can offer up a very nice bevel or a chamfer. I'll jump back to Object, and I'll turn off the face orientation. And now I can grab this, and I can apply that boolean, get it out of there. I can grab the cutter now and delete the cutter because I don't need it. Now with the hard surface toolbox, you can grab this and shade auto smooth before you apply it or after. It really doesn't matter. So you can grab the cutter and do an auto smooth on the cutter. Then grab here. And I guess I didn't go all the way back. Shame on me. There we go. So there's the live boolean. And we can shade auto smooth, then grab this object and shade auto smooth. That's more or less the correct way to do it. And then I can apply the modifier and then delete the cutter. It's up to you. It ends up looking pretty much the same. Now it's not down at the bottom, so this is where I'm going to grab the object, hit tool it, positive to negative, and tool it. And then throw that down there, because that's a big pain. I don't want to have to do both sides. It doesn't make any sense. Now we can kind of come around here, and I'll get rid of the symmetry line by dissolving the edge, and I just double shift alt click on that. Now we could come in here and straighten up these edges a little bit so that we can work with this a little bit later. So I can grab this, hit K for the knife tool, and I'll tag that one and hit Y, and then align it and hit enter. Okay, and that's going to be good. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and dissolve that edge. Then I want to go to the Y, and I think we want to go positive to negative, and then we can just tool it. and it fixed everything. We don't have to do anything else. Now, the cool thing is the edges that were created are there, and you can delete them, but you got to be kind of careful that you're not actually taking out the edges that you need. So a little cleanup with pretty much anything you do, and that just keeps it really nice and clean. And there apparently is one in the middle. I actually don't want that edge there. All right, so that looks good. Could tool the bottom too. Probably gonna create another symmetry line. It's okay though, because now everything is perfect. And now all those symmetry lines are gone. And as always, create a nice little save point for yourself. Let's see, where do I want to go here? Just go to the desktop. YouTube. I didn't know I had a YouTube thing on there. It's probably an empty folder. So now we're going to call this, just double click and save that untitled. So that's a nice save point. And so all this looks good. So now we can come in and grab some edges if we want. And we can bevel those edges in very nicely. Something like that. And then I can pull the symmetry here. Let's see, I think we're going to be negative to positive. There we go. That looks good. And now we've got a symmetry line active. I don't want to like clutter it up, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. It takes like 2 seconds. And dissolve all those, except for the bottom ones. It's not going to let me do that, which is nice. All right, so that looks good. Now what we want to do is create this little region right here. And this is the fun part. So once you've got a nice stable piece, we can add a loop cut. And you see it didn't really add, it's not going all the way around. That's perfectly fine. So when you run into something like this, you'll know what to do. So now, let's see, I actually want to do 2. No, I'm just going to do 1, place it, and put another one, not that direction. Right about there. That looks pretty good. And it didn't work that nice last time. So let's delete those. Dissolve that. All right, so let's just say you've got this one face you're working with. And you extrude it out. Something like that. And now you want to get that wrapped all the way around. Let me change back to material so you guys can see this really good. And you want to change, you want to add this kind of detail to it, right? Well, there's a very easy way to do this. So what we want to do, first things first, is I'll tool it to the other side. It's one of the ways we can do this. I'll grab the tool it and pop it over there. Now, I'm going to jump into face select and hit. Let's see, what L is not going to work on this. It wasn't separated, but I can do a shift alt right here and then select this face. And I'll do is I'll shift D that, and the origin is going to be in the center for that, which is great. But I'm going to go ahead and separate that by selection and then jump out and grab it. And now I can actually rotate this on the Z at 90 degrees, and it's going to be perfectly placed, which is cool. And now we can join that back. So I'll Control J, join that, and now I can go on the Y-axis, which I would say is perfectly set already. Okay, so that's good. Now what we can do is I'll jump into vertex mode, and we can grab these 2 verts right here, and then the other 2 down here that are on the outside, and hit F to fill this. And then we'll grab these. Don't forget to deselect, and I'll hit F. Now I want to do the same thing here. And hit F to fill the face. All right, so now we've got a perfectly joined piece, and I got to get these grid lines out of here. So I'm going to hit hide grid. That's kind of annoying, and that looks good, but it's not everywhere, right? And so what I need to do is bring this from X over to the other side. So go back to X, negative. There we go. And so now that's tooled over there, which is very nice. And so in order to get that line, in order to get these nice corners to the other side, it'd be pretty easy because they're both where they should be now. Just make sure I can apply scale. Everything looks good. Now I can tool this on the Y. And I think the axis should be good. So let's click on the Y and tool it. And voila, that's pretty much it. And that is one way to do it. All right, and this is going to be fun. Let's just say you didn't want that boolean piece there anymore, that slice. We'll just delete it. Let's grab this face, scales. Yeah, okay, I'll do this slow. Grab this face, hit S, and then hit Z, and then hit 0 on the number pad, and then hit enter. Now grab this face, and this face, hit scale Z, 0, enter. Then come back up. That bad boy should be gone. Looks pretty good. Did it give me a little shading error? Let's grab the rest of these. Scale Z0, enter. Now it should be perfect. There we go. Very good. I like it. So there's another trick for you guys to get rid of a boolean. All right, that's it, guys. Appreciate you watching. Smash that like, smash that subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next tutorial lesson. And don't forget about all the fun little upgrades in the hard surface toolbox. Makes it easy, and I've got the new boolean tool going in. So if you already bought the hard surface toolbox, then you will get that as well. And don't forget, you've got some preset models as well. See ya.